Hey guys, TrueGreen7 here, and Pokemon Sun and Moon is on the horizon, which will likely introduce a ton of new features into the Pokemon world. So I thought it would be cool to take a look back at all the new features introduced in every single generation, and considering there are like 1,742 features in the main series of Pokemon, I brought Michael from MandJTV Pokevids to help me educate your beautiful faces.
Greetings, Pokefans! Michael here, and TrueGreen7 was right, your faces are beautiful. But anywho, since this is a pretty hefty topic, we decided to split the generations up into two videos, with Gens 1 through 4 in this video and Gens 5 and 6 over on my channel.
Keep in mind that we left out some of the uninteresting additions that Pokemon has introduced, like how Roselia's EV yield is changed from 1 special attack to 2 special attack in Generation 4. Nobody wants to hear about that boring stuff.
We're also not going to talk about EVs and IVs since that's too freaking complicated and ain't nobody got time for that. So without further ado, here is our feature presentation. First, Gen 1.
Generation 1 introduced the formula that we basically use to this very day. When kids were first introduced to this new franchise, they were able to play with a party of 6 Pokemon, 151 species of pocket monsters that could be captured, battled, and traded to a friend using a link cable. All of this is familiar stuff, I hope.
But some differences from modern Pokemon games is that we didn't have the special attack and special defense stats. Instead, we just had the special stat, meaning if a Pokemon could shoot off strong energy blasts, it could tank them as well.
This is part of the reason psychic types were so overpowered in Generation 1. Not only did most of them have high special stats, thus making them hit hard and take hits well, but they were also only weak to bug, and due to a glitch, psychic was immune to ghost instead of weak to it.
Another goofy thing about Gen 1 is that critical hits and one-hit KO moves were based on speed, so faster Pokemon like Tauros hit crits far more often and were much more likely to succeed with one-hit KO moves, since those moves would fail if the user was slower than the target.
But then Generation 2 came and made things suck less, with the introduction of 100 new Pokemon, 86 new moves, and the Steel and Dark types to defend against those pesky Psychic types.
Ah! Get him off me!
Also added were multiple evolved forms and pre-evolutions of old Pokemon, branched evolutions,
and breeding!
Because of the newly added genders, baby Pokemon were everywhere, and if you were lucky, you could encounter a shiny Pokemon. And if you were super duper lucky, that shiny Pokemon could have the newly introduced Pokemon virus, appropriately named Pokerus.
Oh dear!
Oh, don't worry, Michael, this virus actually boosts the stats of all who contract it.
Nice! Plus, now you can actually be friends with your Pokemon, because apparently you weren't before. Other than with that stupid Pikachu who wouldn't friggin' evolve when I needed it to.
Clocks are now a thing, allowing for in-game events to be affected by time of day and days of the week, along with weather effects that can be activated by moves like Sandstorm.
Your Pokemon also gained the ability to hold items. Yes, even coughing can now receive mid-battle effects from items such as berries. And you can now register a key item to the select button for easier access, making getting on your bike way easier. Because let's be honest, that was what you registered. Speaking of key items, the bag also changed from being one big pocket to 4 separate pockets and gave you much more storage.
The special stat has been split into special attack and special defense.
The Polka Gear was introduced, giving you phone and radio capabilities alongside map functions.
Some types have different effectiveness, allowing for more balanced battles.
The experience all was changed to the experience share and is now a held item. Trainers also now have individual names, so that's how you can remember that youngster Joey is from Gen 2.
But then Crystal version came along and introduced a female choice for the player character, animations for all Pokemon when encountered and sent out of their Pokeballs, a battle tower, a move tutor, special battle music for the legendary beasts, and a side plot with Suicune.
But then everything changed when Generation 3 attacked. We were flooded with the introduction of natures and abilities,
and blown away by 135 new Pokemon, 103 new moves, and double battles.
And landslighted with the mechanic of contests, where even the ugliest of Pokemon can succeed in this oddly formatted beauty pageant.
2 new villainous teams were introduced, making it the first time the villainous team sought after a legendary Pokemon.
And following the nature-y theme of the Hoenn games, weather can now be found in the overworld and change the effects of battle immediately, rather than only being activated by moves such as Rain Dance.
But you can hide in your very own secret bases to get away from those overworld weather effects, cause you don't want to get your running shoes dirty. And an assortment of delicious berries can now be grown and eaten in order to receive additional effects in battle. However, real-time and days of the week were absent from this generation.
But each Pokemon now has its own status screen sprite for ease of recognition in the party or the PC.
Yeah, now all of your grass types don't look like Oddish. But the most important addition to Gen 3 is the separate music for the Elite Four battles. Once Fire Red and Leaf Green were released, we were finally able to wirelessly trade and battle using the wireless adapter that came with the games.
Further advancements in Emerald include the introduction of multi-battles, where 2 trainers can appear and challenge the player at the same time, and the popular and challenging Battle Frontier. Oh man, I loved that place.
Introducing the Battle Frontier allowed Generation 3 to end with a bang, but Gen 4 changed the entire formula once again with the famous physical and special split.
Moves are now designated as physical or special based on the move itself rather than the move's type. So non-contact moves like Dragon Pulse are special, and close combat moves like, well, close combat are physical.
But it doesn't stop there. Now you can trade Pokemon along with the 107 new Pocket Monsters over the internet through the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. You can also battle using 113 new moves, 47 new abilities, and all those awesome new evolutions and pre-evolutions of older Pokemon. Well, some were awesome, however, some were not.
Real time and days of the week are back, with almost every theme having a day and night version. So you can watch this sweet 3-dimensional sunset while listening to some great music.
Contests are back, but with new features and poffins instead of Pokeblocks.
The Underground was introduced, allowing you to mine for items, interact with other players, and make your own secret base.
Some Pokemon now have gender differences. They can range from super noticeable to downright impossible to notice. How close do I have to look at this male Torchic's butt to see that single black pixel?
Forget Torchic butts! Now I can run inside buildings! Anarchy!
Eggs now hatch at level 1 instead of level 5.
And in Platinum, a totally different Battle Frontier was added.
And in Heart Gold, we got the ability to register 2, count 'em, 2 key items at once and compete in Pokathlons.
But the mother of all features was that any Pokemon can now follow the player almost anywhere in the overworld, not just a couple cute ones like in Sinnoh.
But those are not the only awesome features added in Pokemon. Click the top video to see the second half over at Michael's channel, where we discuss all the added features in Generation 5 and 6. But if you just came from Michael's channel, then check out the bottom video to see my top 10 list of rejected features in Pokemon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. I know Michael would appreciate it if you did. Michael? Michael?
Alright, that's good. He's not getting any more.